What's going on, everybody? It is game week, Wake Forest time, but it's actually signing day coming up tomorrow. That's why you're here. That's why Michael Langston is here. It's warchant.com, recruiting chat with Michael Langston. Promo code at the bottom of your screen. While you're looking at that promo code, if you could also hit the thumbs up button here on YouTube, we would very much appreciate that. Even subscribe to our YouTube page, lower right corner. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, get your notifications set up for whenever and however you would like to receive them. Michael, it's kind of weird, right? Having signing day, in the middle of like game week. How are things in your end of the world?
Busy, very busy, very nonstop. It's picked up a lot, obviously, this week. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff we're tracking, a lot of stuff we're seeing which guys are going to sign early, and that's what kind of monitoring. Obviously, we did our signing day preview. That's already up on warchant.com. You can see it's on the front page, and we cover a lot of stuff that's going on. But FSU, not to segue, I know I can segue you into this, but regardless of what guys they pick up that are new or the guys that sign, FSU's already got their 5-star commitment, and that happened Sunday when Mackenzie Milton and the signing of Milton on Monday. So they've already got their 5-star, and this dramatically changes everything with your program.
Interface.
Perfect. Well timed out. Well, I was getting the call-in line up and running. 850-805-5911. That is the number at the bottom of the screen. We got several questions on YouTube. We already got callers waiting on in the queue. Just how big of an impact do you think Mackenzie Milton can be, Michael? I mean, you mentioned it. It was obviously the big news of the weekend. It was the news of the day when we spoke to Mike Norvell on Tuesday. What could this possibly mean for this class? We needed someone to salvage. You needed someone to market. You got a guy 2-time AAC Offensive Player of the Year. That's kind of a big deal, right?
It's massive for recruiting. It's massive because there's several reasons. First of all, why it's massive is one, it changes the whole pitch for your program. Before you're pitching like, hey, Coach Norvell's turning this around. We saw the changes he's made. We saw the guys that have weeded out that either they didn't buy in or maybe these guys just aren't good enough and the fit just not good enough there for them. And we saw a lot of these guys already commit to different places. But it's big also for the transfer market because you're talking about offensive linemen that you would like to add in this class. That attracts offensive linemen immediately. Certainly even more than that is FSU needs receivers. They're probably going to get one or two, probably two transfer portal guys, and then maybe 2 or 3 more as far as in the high school JUCO ranks. So that's going to be a major attraction when you have a superstar elite quarterback that's coming in, assuming he's healthy and everything checks out with that he looks healthy and he's the guy. There's going to be immediate attraction. Plus, it's just going to establish you going into 2022, where if Milton does what he's done before, and he looks as solid as we think he could, that's going to dramatically affect the whole prestige and the whole perception of your program of having a guy that's a lead quarterback. As I've said many times on this chat and on our message boards, when you got an elite quarterback, that mask a lot of problems and it also mask a lot of issues that you have, but it also creates a lot of excitement within your program. So it's like I said, Santa Claus Kris Kringle just walked right up to the Moore Athletic Center and said, "Here, FSU, here's your gift, here's your present, here's Mackenzie Milton," and that just dramatically changes everything when you have a guy like that inside your program.
Or as I say in Hawaii, Malik Mack. So we also have that. Hey, I want to ask one question before I turn it over to everybody else. Jeremiah Holloman, guy went to Georgia off the bat, then he transferred to FIU. He's put his name back in the portal. Have you heard anything with that guy? That's somebody that I've actually seen play that's in the portal that I'm like, he's good. He could help.
Yeah, he's very talented. He's another guy that's, certainly will be on the picture. I haven't heard anything as far as FSU, connection or contact or communication just yet, but he's certainly one of those receivers, and this kind of falls into what I'm saying. John Dunmore, Marcus Fleming. I listed a ton of other guys that were yesterday that I put that you kind of watch for receivers that are out there. They're really good receivers. We're talking like guys that have 800 yards, 1,000 yards as far as receiving. So there's a ton of options that FSU is going to have that they can they can make a push for. I even talked, just stick with Mackenzie Milton. I even talked with Kimo Macanole last night, and Kimo was shocked because Kimo did not know that Mackenzie was from Hawaii. And that's where obviously Kimo's from. So I think he was kind of jacked up or a little excited about that. So that's certainly, I think he said, I would like to talk to him. So I think Atkins is probably going to put him in contact with him and probably, discuss a little bit. So that might help there. Obviously, that's going to be a situation where FSU is going to have to work hard to get that one. He's not signed till February. So, but it's just little things like that can help you going forward with your class. I think generally, like I said, regardless of what they do, they've already hit a home run with the most important position on the field, and that's quarterback.
I don't like hearing that Chemo's waiting until February, but such is life. Such is life.
Yeah.
All right, it's a call-in show after all, Michael. Let's get right after it here. Let's take our first caller of the evening. It's going to be Gator Kirk coming from Virginia Beach, Virginia. What is going on, Gator?
Aloha.
That's right.
Aloha.
All right, man. Doing well, man. Doing well. Feeling the vibe, man. Feeling the vibe. Circular, round and round.
I tell you what, people need to hit that thumbs up button, and if you're not a member of Warchant, you're missing out, because I had several questions today, and I started reading some of the things Michael was writing, and he was answering all my questions, and I'm like, oh. So anyway, I think I came up with one. So with KZ signing,
mm-hmm.
Is that going to put some pressure on some recruits or transfer portal guys to maybe sign a little bit early, or to, take the jump? From what I see, we have 13 firm commits plus KZ. He's already there. That's 14. That only leaves 11 scholarships for this class. And we have needs at wide receiver and a line and things like that. So what are your thoughts on that?
There's two parts of that. I mean, first of all, you have to also consider, Kirk, that probably I have to look and make sure this is true. 6 or 7 of them are going to be early enrollees, so you can count those towards 2022 if you want to. So you can't just lock into that, oh, they got 25, but, because you could count those towards whatever FSU wants to count them towards. And I will give kind of a little bit of a scoop because, just a little, it's a small little thing. But I do think they're going to oversign, which oversign means they're probably going to lose 2 scholarships for 2022. So I get the impression that they're putting a lot into this class. They're putting a lot into what they're going to do as far as, it's going to attract kids. It's going to attract receivers. It's going to attract people to maybe, pull a surprise, maybe even early sign day or in the February signing. But you're going to get plenty of attractions because of a guy like KZ that's coming in that they know is an established, developed, very elite quarterback that can bring a lot to the table as far as receivers. So I think they're going to have plenty of really good options as far as at the receivers position. So I think those are the things you got to remember with the early enrollees, that, you can count them towards, the next class if you want to. So I think they'll probably split that up just to make sure they get everyone that they want. Obviously, offensive tackle, I think you want to get an offensive tackle, a couple offensive tackles, and then obviously get some receivers. I think 2 is what you probably want to get in this class. I'm not feeling that, Warren Thompson's a guy that's guaranteed to come back, so you got to prepare for that just in case. But I think you get a few of those guys, and you get some proven guys. I think we already seen with all the guys I've listed in the portal, there's going to be 6 to 8 options that they can choose from to get those 2 guys they want. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys that kind of their process might be sped up because of adding a guy like Mackenzie Milton.
There you have it, Gator.
All righty. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you all do. Hopefully we'll get the George Wilson kid from the 757. Hit that thumbs up button, eat it Zaxby, subscribe to Warchant, and as always, go Noles. Let's beat those Demon Deacons this weekend. The next 3 days are going to be some big days, hopefully some really positive days for Noles fans. So have a great night. As always, thanks for taking my call.
That's right. The mayor of Virginia Beach, Virginia, Gator Kirk, dropping by as he does usually on our shows here on Warchant TV. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. Let's see what we got here. A lot of people asking questions about receivers. Michael, lots of people want to talk about Malik, Justin McCook with Mackenzie's commitment. What are the chances we get Malik back?
It's possible. There's Malik McClain's who he's talking about. For those that don't know, I think they're still talking. That's the word I got earlier today, that Malik McClain is still talking to FSU. Certainly adding a guy like Mackenzie is a big deal, so it's a possibility. Do I give it a strong chance? I don't know right now. Would I be surprised if he came back? No, but I would still right now, based on what the intel I have, I would still stick with Ole Miss. But I would not be surprised if you wake up tomorrow and he's like he decides he wants back in, because you have an established veteran quarterback. He was obviously sold on FSU more than just he's coming in to he can play early and stuff like that. So there's several other factors that play into it, but it would not surprise me. It's a chance. There's a chance. Like I said, I would lean more towards Ole Miss right now at this hour when we're doing this live, but I can certainly see him in that class. And so certainly there's going to be certainly there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to be monitoring of guys that you're going to sign or not. You have DeVaris Dawson, who's another guy that you have to watch out for, because now he's not going to sign early, supposedly. His teammate, Amarian Cooper, is going to sign with FSU. So I think all the commits for FSU will sign. If you get all of them to sign, or all of them will sign except for Chemo. So that's the only one left that won't sign. So that if you add all those up, when you add in Mackenzie too, that's 15. So you'll have 15 guys that will sign. So I think it's going to be interesting tomorrow. So it's just going to be interesting. But to answer the question, McClain, yes, I think it's certainly a possibility.
Scott Chastain, welcome to the party, big dog. Michael, any big surprises for tomorrow? And he kind of wants a follow-up with McClain. Any truth to Ole Miss telling McClain no, and now he wants to sign with FSU? On film, he's a game changer. Thanks for your hard work.
Yeah, I'm still checking on that with McClain. I'm still working kind of my sources with that. Right now, I don't have anything except for what I alluded to, that it wouldn't surprise me if he came back. So far as surprises, I've already alluded to that as far as guys I listed. I think if you go through the article on the front page, I list some guys that we're going to watch, but I don't think there's going to be a guy that's completely out of left field that just jumps on board with FSU. That would surprise. I have not heard that, if that's what you're kind of getting to, Scott, but I have not heard that kind of stuff. But, guys that I think they're on that could sign early or could wait, you could list that as possibly surprise. So yeah, there's a lot of things I'm monitoring when it comes to this early signing day.
Okay. Thanks for the question, Scott. Appreciate it. If we knew, and then it wouldn't be a surprise, though, right, Scott? So, think about it that way. It's almost like a riddle you dropped on us. We appreciate the $10 in the tip jar. Khalil Young, young bull, welcome to the party. You get a little bit of that. Taryn Smith, it looks like, in the avatar. Nice one. What are the chances we can get Lee Hunter at this point? Michael, by the way, Khalil, thank you very much for the $10. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you to the previous one that dropped $10. We appreciate that too. Khalil, I would say he's one I'm monitoring pretty heavily because he wanted to sign early. Auburn does not have a coach right now. We know he really likes Odell, so that's one of those surprises or guys that I wouldn't really list as surprise because FSU's been on him even when he's been committed. So yes, he's one I'm monitoring pretty heavily to see what he actually does. I think the plan before was to sign early. Now it's kind of up in the air about what Lee is going to do, if he's going to sign early or not. So I don't know that, but I do know that is a possibility. And FSU is working overtime on that one, talking to him like daily, nonstop. His family loves FSU. His mom really likes FSU. He obviously likes FSU. He's talked highly about Odell Hagan. So it's definitely, it's definitely something that I'm monitoring. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. And it's definitely something that's a possibility. But Lee has not indicated one way or the other yet what he's going to do or if he's going to sign early or not. So that's kind of what I'm monitoring, and I'm checking on a lot of guys to see kind of where their recruitment's at, because there's a lot of Auburn targets that FSU's after. I did a post earlier this week, focus on the guys that I think they're going to really target. So that's the one that I'm keeping a close eye on.
There we go. All right, now it's a party. Ray Pereira in the house. Let's go, Ray. Here's a new one, just for you, my friend.
Okay.
Straight cash, homie.
That's for you, Ray.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, only $50 in the
Thank
tip
you,
jar.
Ray. Thank you so much.
No Macho Man horn. That's Tom Lang's thing. I'm not going to steal his Macho Man. I'm not steal the air horn. Michael, prediction: how many new recruits due to Aloha?
Well, he's referring to KZ. If you guys are kind of following that, but I don't know if I could put a limit on how many they get. I mean, I think it dramatically gives you a jolt in the arm of just where kids are. It just dramatically changes things where kids are going to all of a sudden really be high on FSU. This certainly changes things. The excitement from the commits is duly noted everywhere. When you look at all the offensive guys, they are jacked up about this pickup. And I think there's going to be a lot of transfers that are going to be very high on FSU. All of them are on our premium message board, or where I've covered guys to watch. So, I think it's interesting. The Drew Estrada kid is not, from Dartmouth. He has not made a decision yet. So I think it's interesting that he has not said anything yet. And certainly you got to believe when you add a guy like, Milton, that's certainly going to be attraction for him. He is from the state of Texas. I mean, the word I got was that most people thought he was going to stay in Texas, but nothing's still decided or announced by him yet. So until that happens, there's still a possibility of him to watch. And I would imagine Estrada's got to be pretty excited and his eyeballs raised when he saw that Milton was going to FSU. So I think all these guys are in play. How many, I don't know, but I think it's going to have a solid effect on the transfer market, especially on the offensive side of the ball for FSU.
All right. Well done. Thanks for the answer. Michael, thank you, Ray, for your very generous tip in the jar, man. We do appreciate it. It's holiday season. Everybody's got their family to look after, but the Warchant fam definitely does appreciate it. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's get our boy Daryl in Thomasville, North Carolina. Lots of excitement always with Daryl when he calls in. Daryl, how are you, man?
Hey, how you doing, Aslan? How you doing, Michael?
We're doing fantastic, Daryl.
Be back on the show with y'all. Been a great, I guess, been a great last few days for the Florida State Noles. Take care of the Gators on Saturday. Took care of Duke on Saturday. And then signed Milton. Without signing, but he committed to Florida State on Monday and everything. But I guess you kind of answered some of my questions already with I guess McLean and everything. I know Dustin Hill. I think he decided to kind of push back his what he was going to do. I think until February.
Right.
But him pushing back his his signing and everything, does that leave room for him if he does commit to Florida State and everything in February, or does that kind of push him out if there's room or not room for him?
There's always thank you, Daryl, for the question. I appreciate it. I figured somebody would get to the Dustin Hill news. I know when it came down that he wasn't going to sign, I talked to Sam Spiegelman from Rivals.com. He was very direct with me. He's like, look, Mike, I mean, this is all about finishing the playoffs. I don't know when their playoffs finish up, maybe by end of December or maybe January. I think he's just so locked in the playoffs. They won a state championship so bad. And Sam was pretty clear that he's taught the Destin. He's been really dialed into this recruitment from the start, and he made it clear. It's like, look, the inevitable is he's going to go to Florida State. I mean, it's just delaying the inevitable, but I don't think there's any side notes or side swipe. But as far as, he's waiting for some other school to come in there, I don't get it's that. I think FSU feels really good. I think I feel really good about him ended up at FSU. Obviously, it would have been really big momentum in the early signing period to land a Rivals 250 4-star receiver. And I'll just say this too. It would not be a shocker to me, and I'm not basing this on intel, but it would not be a shocker if you just wake up Wednesday morning and we see the facts fly by of Destin Hill going to Florida State. It would not shock me if he does that. We don't know if he is surprised by it, or maybe the other thing he could be waiting on is just to see, the rumors about if David Johnson's going to move over to that receiver position, or something like that. He could be waiting for that if that comes through. So we don't know. But as far as FSU and the confidence is remaining very strong. The confidence with people I talked to in Louisiana, including Sam Sigelman, is pretty solid for FSU winning out ultimately in this battle. So I don't think it really I know it scares people like Freddy Krueger in your nightmares every night and thinking about it, because he's not signing early, or he's getting the potential that he possibly couldn't sign early. But I'm not that concerned as far as where FSU stands. I think they still are in a pretty strong spot with Destin Hill.
And I got one quick question for you. What's in the box that's been going around on Twitter?
Yeah, that's
Mike Norvell has been passing around.
I think that's more of they're doing kind of an old school type of backyard. What is it called? Aslan backyard something. It's almost like cartoon characters that they're making for their whole class. The way they're going to announce it. So that's kind of what that's all about. But it's almost like a cartoon thing that they're making for all the commits. It's making it kind of exciting and fun. And I think I watched the preview a little bit today. It had Gene Deckerhoff and Mike Norvell as cartoon characters. Little silly, but it's a little different. And different's always fun. And they're trying to make it a little exciting for everyone to watch. By the way, on a separate note, the Florida player that was hurt, Cavante, I want to say his last name. Johnson, is that correct? Yeah, he is in stable condition. His family sent out a letter saying he is in stable condition. He actually communicated in FaceTime with his team. I want to give a shout out to his family. We're all excited that he is breathing and he's doing a lot better. So I wanted to make sure I did that and went out there and put that out there. But yeah, Daryl, that's kind of what the plan is. They're trying to make it, spice it up a little fun, have some fun with this 2021 early signing period in this recruiting class.
All right, well, that's great news to hear about him.
Yeah.
And let's take care of Georgia Tech tonight, and y'all hit the thumbs up button and eat Zaxby's and sign up for Warchant, because man, it's the greatest news going on in Florida in the world today. So great show, guys, and y'all keep up the great work, and go Noles.
That's right. Daryl from Thomasville, North Carolina, joining us. Captain D 63 over on the Tribal Council Warchant.com.
What a week! What a week last week, Aslan. I mean, you're an FSU fan. That's got to be one of the greatest weekends in history. You win your 7th straight over Florida in hoops. Your football team lays 50-something on Duke. You get things going. You get things rolling. Florida loses a game because a player is dumb enough to throw a shoe 20 yards down the field, lets the guy kick a billion-yard field goal, and he makes it. Florida loses. They're probably out of the playoffs. Miami gets destroyed by North Carolina, the same team FSU beat. And, by the way, on Sunday, you land your superstar quarterback, and then he signs Monday. So I can't remember a better stretch of news for FSU going in a while for last weekend. So yeah, it was pretty dramatic.
All right, that's exciting. What's even more exciting is when Kirk Noel party. Let's go, Kirk Noel. This is a new one. This is a new one for you, Kirk Noel. I'm gonna leech this one here. This is a new one. Let's go, man. Come on, man.
Dollar bills, y'all.
100 American from Shane Kirkley, aka Kirk Noel. Much obliged, man. Can't say enough. Thank you so much. Got a question for you, Michael. Is there one or more high school recruits that can sign now that you think could help encourage others to change their mind and come to FSU?
Well, I mean, we just talked about it. Destin Hill, I think, would have been a big one that could help you. I think, obviously, Mackenzie Milton is going to help getting an established dude in there. But, yeah, I mean, if you got him if Hill would have jumped on board, that would help. Obviously, McLean's another one that could help if he changes his mind or if you go the direction. I think Hunter Washington is a big deal, though, because he's signing tomorrow. He's been the leader of this parade with the FSU commits. He's done a great job as far as getting kids in there, getting kids interested, really working on guys nonstop. I mean, I think Hunter's been phenomenal. I think Joshua Burrell's been phenomenal. I think those two guys signing alone is going to bring excitement. I think Hunter is the one that just really jumps out to me. That kid is so pro FSU as far as of just the excitement around him. I think him signing alone is going to add a lot of excitement to go along with the Milton news. But I think certainly, I think if I was going to pick one, I think Hill could certainly get the juices going or pump a big adrenaline rush into this class if he did that. But I still think Hunter's a big deal. I don't want to. I mean, that's the thing. People forget some of these commits that they're going to sign and they're pretty solid. I mean, I think people forget the guys like Hunter Washington and guys like Joshua Burrell and those guys that Shambray Jackson, all these guys that are a big part of the momentum and excitement for this 2021 class. But if I was picking an uncommitted guy, I think certainly Destin Hill would fit that category. Bang! $100, Shane. That's awesome.
Straight cash, homie.
Shane, you're the man. We appreciate it, man. Much obliged.
Dollar bills.
Yeah, that's right, man. Phone line still open, 850-805-5911. We got some more action here on YouTube. Shout out to Trent Barnes dropping $20 our way. Trent, you got something to say, man. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, fire away, Trent. Man. Give me something, anything. No matter what it is.
Horn Gang, we're still here, not going anywhere. I did turn it down a little bit. It's not as loud. Maybe that won't rustle people as much as it used to. But we got that going, Trent. We appreciate it. Thanks so much, man. If you got a question, again, anything on your mind, man, let us know. Let's see here. Let's see here. You mentioned Hunter Washington. Daryl's back. Daryl's on YouTube now. Who do you think Hunter Washington brings with him that he keeps talking about?
Well, I think the first guy he was talking about, this top prize recruit, is Destin Hill. I think that's the guy he was probably referring to. Now, he was talking about a decommitment that hit him up, I guess, later, a day later that he told me about. I think he was probably referring to the Daryl Jackson kid that later committed to Maryland. I think he really wanted to be at FSU. And that's another one you have to follow. If FSU sends a late offer to Daryl, I think Daryl was going to jump on board. Now, with FSU looking good for George Wilson, defensive end, that was previously committed to South Carolina, that's less likely. But you never know. We never know how these things will work. But I do think if Daryl got an offer from FSU, he would jump on board. Now, I do not know who the third guy he was talking about, who he said he thinks he's joined this class, which sounded like Hunter's referring to he was referring to a 2021 when he says this class, but then he mentioned kind of 2022 is really going to set the tone. So he might be referring to somebody else in 2022 class. Could be a number. My first guy that pops in my head is 4-star DB Bobby Taylor, who's really good friends with Hunter. They're very close. He's a very talented cornerback, and that might be what he's talking about as far as setting the tone when he talks to 2022. So I would guess those are the kind of things I think he's talking about, Daryl.
All right, there we go. Let me pop this question up because I've seen a couple people ask it elsewhere on corners of the internet.
Yeah.
Bradley, any truth to Trey Sanders or considering Florida State rather?
Yeah, when we first did, Gene's like, hey, we should start a thread, transfer portal thread. So the first day I got that up, that was the first topic that I'd put in there, which was people from Alabama have indicated, with my sources of people I've talked to over there, that Trey Sanders was likely going to transfer, and I had heard that FSU would be high on his list. So yes, I think he is considering FSU. I think FSU will be pretty high on his list as far as considerations if we do see him pop into the portal, which I think we will. Trey had a tough accident, I think, early this year where hurt his hip or something like that. But I think when you look at it, all the Alabama running backs they have, if you're injured, you're going to fall way, way behind these guys. So the chances of you playing there It's probably going to be hard. He's originally from Apalachicola, Port St. Joe High School. So he's a guy that I think you can attract, as far as being closer to home. Port St. Joe is not that far away from FSU. That's not a long distance. So, and he's always, I think, liked FSU as a young kid. And he's got a staff that they're building something special. And so it wouldn't be a shock that we see that FSU would be in high consideration for a guy like Trey Sanders. So, yes, they would be under consideration.
Do we know how bad that car accident was? I mean,
it seemed really bad at the time, but I don't know if he's out for a couple more months or whatnot. I think he should be good to go for the following year. So, but if you're getting a 5-star talent like him, it's kind of worth the risk. And he was phenomenal at IMG when he played. I mean, you're starting for IMG and you're delivering. He delivered big numbers week after week. That's a guy you can certainly use in your program. FSU, I like the stable with what FSU has in there with Tolafili, Douglas, who's now come on. We've seen a bigger role with him. And then obviously Jay-Sean Corbin's been really good. So you add that to that with a Trey Sanders, you're just talking a ridiculous backfield.
Yeah. Let's keep it rolling here on YouTube. Khalil Young's back, a.k.a. Taryn Smith. Khalil, I gave you a little bit of horn last time. I'll give you a little bit this time. There we go. 3 guys on both sides. Wow. $20 and you're making real big demands out of that story. Or out of Michael. I don't have to say anything. 3 guys, both sides of the ball, you want to see take a huge step forward in improving, I'm assuming, their game next season. Oh, this is a team-related question, Michael. You ready to put that hat on? He says Travis J, Jarvis Brownlee, Brendan Gann on defense, and then Lawrence Toafili, Ontario Wilson, Cam McDonald on offense.
Yeah, I would say this. I want to start this off when I answer that. I want to give this guy a lot of love because Brendan Gann has shown me a lot, these last 3-4 weeks. Like, I've been very impressed by Brendan. I think Brendan's ready to take that next step forward. He had an unbelievable game, I thought, against Duke. Should have had 2 picks, but it's pass interference on the play. But made a Sports Center highlight, pick. I mean, he closes on the ball so well. It's very fast, plays hard, and you saw the growth of him during the season, because early in the season he was the guy that had his toe inside the end zone. Everyone, made fun of him because of that. But this guy, since that time, is really taken to the coaching and really worked hard. People know, so I just want to give a shout out to him. Second of all, Travis J's my dude. Everyone knows that. He's special. He's unique. I think he will take that next step forward. I think next year you'll see that. Same with Lawrence Toafili. I think he's going to take that big step forward. And I would have guessed he's talking about the Wilson kid. I guess he's referring to the tight end from UCLA, Jordan Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. We just have to see what he does. Yeah, he's going to help their team a lot. And McDonald, but my thing is, I think it's really going to open up the offense next year, because we do not see – I mean, Cam is so talented. Cam McDonald I'm talking about. He is so talented that you got to get that guy more involved than just getting like 2 passes a game or 3 passes. I mean, you want to get that guy at least, 8 or 9 targets if you can. I think a guy like Mackenzie Milton, if you got somebody who can make all the throws on the field, you're certainly going to see a lot more involvement. You're going to see those guys step forward. So I think that's a good list. Khalil, that's a good list, man, because those are some really talented guys that I think I would even throw Steven Dix on there.
Who are your guys? Come on. He wants to know your guys, Michael. 3 guys on defense. 3 guys.
Okay. Well, my guys on defense, I love Steven Dix. I think he's a baller. I think he's going to make a big step forward. I like Jarvis Brownlee too. I mean, he mentioned Jarvis Brownlee, but that's a guy I'm really high on. I think he's going to do a lot of things. We've seen Douglas. I think Corey Wren's going to be a guy you hear a lot more about next year. I think nutrition-wise, he was a little skinny coming in, so I think they're getting the body right. This kid's got electrifying speed. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table. Guy you didn't mention on that list, Ja'Kai Douglas. I love that kid. I love the way you can use him, almost like Darren Sproles, for the Saints and the Eagles when he played in his prime, and even with the Chargers. I think he can do a lot of different things that's exciting, that can really be matchup problems. I think those are some of the guys, and I think the guy that gets lost in this, we talking about Mackenzie, but Jordan Travis could be your just X factor in this offense because you could use him in slot. You can line him up anywhere on the field, slot, running back, wildcat, quarterback, receiver, wherever you want to put him. That guy can be special and be dynamic for this offense. So I think that's a guy that can certainly help you out a lot. So I think there's several guys, and even the unit that we don't talk about this that much, Aslan, but this offensive line, there's been solid improvement as far as across the board of what I've seen with a lot of these guys. Atkins has done a really good job with this group, and recruits are taking notice. So I would say some of those offensive linemen, but those are a few guys that kind of really stand out to me. I think another guy that I think is going to take another step forward is Derek McClendon. I think he's playing pretty good. I think guys like him, that are warming up, that are getting ready to break through. Those are a few guys on my mind.
All right, very well. Thanks for the question, Khalil. Thanks for the tip. We appreciate that as well. How about Hector Cartagena? Shout out to Hector. You get a little bit of this. You get a little bit of that.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Taryn Arnold. What's going on, Michael?
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually committing tomorrow or committing in the early signing period. I haven't really checked on it because it's not going to be FSU. So, let's just get that out of the way. Hector, we appreciate the $25, but let's get it out of the way that I do not expect it to be FSU, barring a big shocker. His close friend is Xavier Sori. I like him to pick Georgia tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting because they kind of wanted to play together. So I still stick with my original thing, which is Alabama. I just still stick with that. I think Alabama is the team that he likes the most. I think Alabama, their history with DBs is well proven with Nick Saban being a former DB coach. That's the team I still circle. But also watch out for Georgia. I know Florida's in the mix there, but I think that hurts Florida not getting – if Florida doesn't get Sori tomorrow, like I don't think they will, and Georgia gets them, I think that really just hurts their chances. But I have not heard if he's for sure committing tomorrow. In fact, I think he's doing it in February, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. But I don't think it's going to be FSU, Hector. I mean, regardless. Now, things could change. Maybe something changes. You don't know. But – from here into February. But for right now, I don't think he's a guy that FSU will get.
All right. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Austin out in Winter Haven. He's been waiting for a good minute. Polk County in the house.
Yeah.
Austin wants to talk about quarterbacks. What's up, Austin?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? I was just wondering, us getting Mackenzie Milton, is there still a chance that we pull Jake Garcia? And also, who is our 2020 QB prospect you think we're going to get, Michael?
Okay.
Y'all cool, man. We get off the phone lines. Y'all talk.
Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it.
I think he's referring to 2022 quarterbacks, what he meant. But
is there no height? I mean, if they don't get Jake Garcia, are they going to get Pat in 2021?
Here's the deal, Austin. They got their quarterback. They're not going to get Jake Garcia. They're not going to. I think their thing was. We're going to recruit both of them, and they did recruit Jake hard. They wanted him. Dillingham had a relationship with him. I think, I kind of indicated this on the message boards that, look, they're going to recruit both of them hard, but I think Milton is the priority, and now they have the priority in the bag. He's signed, sealed, and delivered. They got their quarterback, so I think they're pretty much done at quarterback. I think Jake will end up at Miami. I think we'll see that, but I think from the start, I think Milton has been their priority because they need help now. They need somebody who can help them now. Sure, they're not going to turn down Jake Garcia. If Jake wanted to come, I don't think they would turn him down, but I think they'll probably go to Miami. But I think they got their guy. So, just in that part with the quarterback, I think they got their guy. They're going to have 4 quarterbacks in their room. I think that's kind of what they're happy with. That's kind of what Norvell likes. And as far as 2022, I think it's still pretty wide open as far as who the can't misses guys are or who the for sure fire guy is. I think Nico Marcel's one of them, but I think A.J. Duffy's a guy to certainly watch as well because Kenny Dillingham has a really good relationship with both of those guys. I think either one of those guys are probably the leading candidate right now, but I think there's going to be a lot more guys that merge. And I don't think we have a clear-cut number one guy for sure yet in that 2022 class of okay, this guy is their number one choice. So I think that will come clear probably a little after signing day, maybe even after this early signing day. I should have a feel for that as far as who could be the number one guy, kind of how we did last year where they were after 3 guys and then Luke was kind of the guy that they were, they ended up really pushing for. So I think right now I think they're still figuring out who's going to be the number one as far as 2022. But either way, they're going to get, in my opinion, a very good 2022 quarterback. And that's why Milton is going to increase that with the excitement he's going to bring. So you're going to get 2022 quarterbacks that now have a different view of FSU with having a guy like Milton there for a year. Say he puts on a show, kids are going to be lining up that want to check out FSU and maybe be a place that they can call home. So I think right now those are the 2 guys. But I think that room is going to get a little bit bigger.
All right. Let's see. We got some action over on what?
Oh, Willie.
Okay.
Yo, Willie.
Let's go, Willie. Come on, man. What's going on? Good Lord.
I need to know where Willie works. Because that dude,
Bills, y'all.
He's got the coins.
Just out of nowhere, like off the top rope, just shows up. Love it, man.
Willie, throw a question in here, Willie. Heck, you can even send me a DM on the message board. I will answer you whatever you want, Willie. You throw us down a question. You throw 150 down. I want to help you out. So if you hear me, Willie, I'm talking directly to you, Willie. Send me a question.
Yeah, look into the camera, Michael. Tell him right now.
Send me a question. It doesn't matter what it is. Team, recruiting, basketball, tennis, soccer, badminton, whatever question you want me to answer, I'll do it.
Oh man, I think he might have asked a question one time. Otherwise, this is his MO. He just shows up, throws like $150 in our face, and just walks out of the place. I like it though, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I like it. A little Scott Breen action for you there too.
You get a little war chant going as long after that one, man. You throw on the war chant when you get something like that.
All right, yeah, I'm not nimble enough. I can't move. There's only so many places I can go once. I'll see if I can work on that. In the meantime, Rare Artworks S, and we appreciate you. You get a little bit of that. What's going on with Amari Harvey, Michael Langston? Does he go to FSU now that Gus at Auburn on the Plains has been fired?
Yeah, Amari's kind of one that likes to have fun with this stuff. I don't think it'll be FSU. I think if he doesn't go to Auburn, I think he'll go to Texas A&M because those are the 2 schools that he was choosing between. When he committed to Auburn, those were the 2 schools he was really down to. I got the impression FSU thought he was playing with them, so I don't think FSU really truly felt like he's all in with them. Now, they have another teammate, Auburn commit, that, Philip O'Brien. That's a guy maybe to watch too. He's committed to Auburn, but his uncles are Zach and Henry Crockett, who played FSU. Phillips loved FSU. So that's a different story. That's one kind of watch to see if anything happens there. But usually when these guys play games and they don't decommit from the school, it makes you think they're just going to stick with him and they'll sign. Because it sounds like Amari's still going to sign tomorrow. But if he did pull a flip surprise, I would go with Texas A&M more than I would anybody. But would FSU shock me? Not really, because it's a local kid. But right now, I'd say the smart money you would put on, if it's not Auburn, it would be Texas A&M. Jimbo.
Man, he's a pretty good guy, pretty good coach, not a bad one.
Yeah.
Ray asks, is Jake Garcia a better prospect than Chubba Purdy?
They do some of the similar things. Chubba's more athletic. Chubba's more versatile as far as running. I think I've seen Jake in person. He's more of a drop back passer. Very, very good drop back passer, by the way. I think Jake's a very good prospect. I like Chubba better just personally because Chubba can do more versatility with his game. Now, it just depends on what you're looking for. In the FSU offense that they run, I think Chubba is a better fit for Norvell. To get right to the point, Chubba is a better fit for the Norvell offense where I think Jake's more of a you want him in a pro style offense that's constantly pro style. He's not going to run for a great deal of yards, but he's not slow. He's not Dan Marino in the pocket or anything, but he can move. But Chubba's more athletic, where Chubba can, when things break down, he can go out there and get you yards. So I think for the Norvell offense, he's the better fit than Jake. Now, Mackenzie Milton is the ultimate fit for the Norvell offense. So I think it's a good problem to have. I'm loving this quarterback room, Aslan. I'm loving what it looks like, and it's going to be fun to watch in the spring.
I'm watching a lot of Mackenzie Milton highlights. It's pretty exciting to watch, man. Everybody keeps focusing on Alex Smith, like as a comparison, catastrophic knee injury. I think maybe like Jalen Smith. I think it was from UCLA linebacker who got injured, or no, Notre Dame. I'm sorry, Notre Dame. Okay. I think Miles Jack. For some reason, I always got Miles Jack and him confused. But Jalen Smith was the linebacker for Notre Dame, got hurt in a New Year's Six bowl game, was a first-round pick, projected, and then the Cowboys scooped him up in the second round. He's a guy that, dislocated. I think he dislocated his knee. Yeah. I know he had nerve damage, and that's sort of the rub with Mackenzie is the nerve damage that he had in his leg. And Jalen Smith, I think that like 80% of that nerve had regenerated. Yeah, and I think on a much shorter timeline than what we're working with now with Mackenzie. So fingers crossed. When we spoke to Norvell today on Tuesday, it sounds like they've been in communication with him about his medical sort of status, and they feel confident that not only will he'll be available and ready when he does report to campus. So I'm curious to see how quickly they'll kind of get that rehab process started for him when he gets to Tallahassee, because he's been rehabbing, and I'm sure they'll figure out a way to make it as seamless as possible. Yeah, and they I'm sure they've done a lot of background checks on this with not just people around Mackenzie. I'm sure they've done a lot of checking on this. This isn't a situation where, Mackenzie's telling you he's okay. No, they've done a lot of medical background on this. You do a lot of work on this. There's a lot on the line when you look into this stuff. Obviously, he's been working with the scout team all year. I had a good interview with Brandon Helwig, which Ira's going to post a story on that. He kind of broke it down, and he said point blank, Aslan, I'll just give kind of a teaser here. I mean, Brandon told me, I was like, Brandon, what are they getting if they get a kid that's healthy or close to healthy of what he was? He said, Mike, they're getting the best quarterback in the nation. That's what they're getting. Whoa. Yeah. It's big. Mike, that's big. It's big.
Yeah. There's your teaser.
All right. Let's take a phone call. They've been waiting here in the pocket. We got looks like, I think you might know this guy fairly well. He's down in West Palm Beach. I think Johnny.
That's my brother. What's up, dude?
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Not much. I was just wondering on the Auburn decommitments if we'll get any of those guys.
That's a good question, Donnie. Yeah, they're very. There's about 5 or 6 on there. I've covered some of them. I think some of them we don't know if they're signing early. I think offensive lineman Garner Langlow is one that I haven't mentioned today. Devarius Dawson, he's an athlete. I think FSU liked him a lot at wide receiver. He could add a lot to their speed as far as the team. They have Amani Goodwin, who's a running back that decommitted from them, but I think he's probably, if he doesn't go to Auburn, he goes to LSU. And then you have Marquise Robinson, a defensive tackle. We've mentioned defensive tackle Lee Hunter. And I think FSU's heavy with all these guys. So, yeah, it's a very real possibility that FSU could get 1 or 2 of those guys and that are committed to Auburn right now. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, first, if these guys sign early, if they do decide to early, and secondly, if they do take a visit to FSU on their own. So, yes, there's certainly options they're going to look heavy at, and certainly guys they're recruiting pretty hard.
Yeah, and as you know, I'm excited about Mackenzie Milton. I've seen the video, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think the whole nation's looking forward to Mackenzie. He's a good one, and it's a nice big Christmas present for Mike Norvell. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching him.
All right. Thank you, bro.
You got it, buddy. Take care.
Look at that. Michael Langston's so busy that his own brother, his own flesh and blood, has to call to the show to get a hold of him. So that just shows you how much he's working for you folks over on Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Promo code Warchant 30 phone number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Let's see what we got going here over on YouTube. Didn't mean to cut you off. Were you about to say something, Michael? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
All right. Let's see what we got here. We've got Khalil Young's back. I mean, Khalil, it's okay, man. You don't have to. You can just ask a question. You've done enough. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Deshaun Rucker from Godby. Do we know anything about him, Michael?
Yeah, he's committed to Tennessee right now. We all know Tennessee's kind of in kind of a flux as far as the season, kind of rough season. Local kid that loves FSU. I just don't know, where you fit him because he plays quarterback and he can play safety. I personally like him at safety. I do agree he's a talented prospect. I just don't know how high FSU is on him. The fact that FSU didn't push for a commitment right away, it makes you wonder how high they are on. Very good wheels. He can run. He's fast. He tracks the ball really well as a safety. I think he would add a lot. I don't think there's any movement yet. I think he's a guy that's probably – it would not surprise me if he doesn't sign early and just waits to see, what happens with other schools, including FSU. I've not heard if he's signing early. But he's certainly one to, just monitor a little bit. But he's not a guy that I think they've been pushing for, at least not right now, Khalil.
Old Godby, man. We do like Godby. That's the alma mater, right, Michael?
Yes, that's the alma mater. I love Godby. Deshaun's a really good kid. And shout out to Coach McCray over there if he's watching. Go Cougars. I love my Cougars. 90-91 graduate. Love the Cougars and always follow them. That's my school. That's my dudes, but yeah, Deshaun is a very talented prospect. But as far as pushing, I haven't heard anything here yet.
Gator Kirk, Mr. 757, dropping 757 in the bucket.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Red Lightning is back at FSU. Might be why KZ committed. KZ, Mackenzie, it's what everybody call him at UCF. So
yeah,
in your lexicon, everybody get ready for it. Yeah, I saw everybody tweeting about it. I didn't see it. I was watching the game at home, but I didn't see Red Lightning. But he's back apparently. That's cool.
He's awesome. Like if anybody's never met him, he's awesome. He's just a fun guy to be around. Red Lightning, and I met him several times. We even got him to video bomb me and Gene's videos when we've done for camps and stuff. And he's just he's a guy that loves FSU and certainly is an attractive figure as far as around the Seminole program. And just welcome back, dude. That's all I can say. Welcome back, man. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Hey, check it out. Andy Neves, very kind of him, says, thank you guys for your great work. Appreciate that, Andy. Thank you.
We do what we can.
But there's words, there's actions. There's words, action. Let's go, Andy. Let's go, man.
Oh,
what is going on, Andy? I like it, man.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Straight cash, homie.
Andy, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Andy, throw a question out, man. You lay 100, and you got to throw a question out. I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
But I want to see I see a question. If you got one, throw it out here. I'll ask it. I'll answer it. If you don't get in the show, throw it in the YouTube chat. I will go in there and I will answer it tonight.
Yeah. Let's get back to some other questions from folks here. Van Life Storytelling. Michael, there's not been any questions about a major position of need. Linebackers.
Yes. That's the one position I think there's work to do for the late signing period. We haven't heard anything as far as a linebacker. With Brandon Jennings, who's a former FSU commit, looks like he's going to for some reason, looks like Maryland's trending for him, where he's not going to go to Michigan. He's probably going to go to Maryland. I don't understand that. FSU needs linebackers. He loves FSU growing up. Yeah, it's kind of a head scratcher. But, yeah, there's work to do at linebacker. That's the position that I got circled that you have Jordan Eubanks. He's going to sign tomorrow. But you need two other guys. I think you even need a guy in the transfer portal that's a solid dude that can come in there and help you. I like the young cats they have that played this year, but they need some more there. They need some guys that can help them, from the portal. I think you need to get a portal guy, if not two, and then get a couple of you need two more linebackers in this class. So, yeah, that's the one position. There's some work to do. They got work to do in this late signing period. I'm sure they're going to be on guys. They've done really well in adding a pass rusher. They got Patrick Payton. We've talked about him several times. I think he's going to add a lot of speed rusher. You get George Wilson. That's a really good speed rusher. You already have Joshua Farmer in your class. He's supposed to sign tomorrow. So you have him. So you got a lot of Byron Turner, who people know I'm really high on. So I like what they're doing defensive end. I think the linebacker position is really the one I have circled that if you're looking at one position, you're circling like they ain't got the job done there yet, that's the position. So I think linebacker, they got a little work to do.
All right. Andy's back. He's got a question after we twisted his arm.
Okay.
Cooperating, and he wants to look into the future. 2022 defensive line, ends, tackles.
Okay, hang tight, dude. I'm gonna get on here now and I'm gonna look at this thing.
There you go.
I can't do this stuff on the fly, because I got to look it up a little bit.
Well, then you're bossing me around telling you to pull up the Warchant. Hey, chop on it. I was like, give me the Warchant. We'll put the Warchant in there.
Yeah, so give me a second here, Andy.
In the meantime, Sean Norris, appreciate you, Sean. Thank you. You get a little bit of that. Andrew Jones, will he flip from Memphis?
It could be a last minute thing. You never know. I'm not going to say you're not, but I think he's the one just to keep your eye on just in case. Okay. I think he's certainly one. 2022 defensive ends is kind of I think there's guys out there. I think Brandon Cleveland's committed to Miami. I think that's a guy to watch next year that FSU can get involved with. Richard Thomas is already a guy that they're really high on. Nijak Kelly, who they got a commitment from, I think he's going to be a 4-star at the end of the day when everything shakes out. And then I really like Marvin Jones Jr. That's the son of Marvin, the legend at FSU. I think he's a guy to definitely watch, kind of similar to Patrick Payton, kind of Brian Burns-like, where he can do a lot of things as far as a pass rusher. He's a really good speed rusher. So there's several names on there as far as the offer list, but nothing really, I think, serious just yet as far as a guy that I can say they for sure are going to get. But I think those are a few of the names that I look at that I see defensive end.
Live in the moment, Andy. 2021 is tomorrow, man. Live in the moment. We appreciate you looking far into the future. Appreciate the tip for real, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it. Crazy. Appreciate it.
Crazy. It's going to be Merry Christmas at the Midtown offices. I'll tell you that much. Khalil's really not messing around when I told him he can keep asking questions. So Khalil's got two more. We'll take at least this one. Who's the most underrated commit in this class? Khalil thinks it's either Farmer or Noles.
I would say the guy that I think is the most underrated in this group, and he plays the most unappreciated position, is Jackson West, tight end.
Ooh.
Like, he's the guy that I do not think gets enough love. The other guy I really like that's underrated, and he just finally got 3 stars, is Shyheim Brown. I went to see him play Lake City, defensive back. This kid is a freak. He can play corner, safety. He's got a lot of Travis J type qualities when you watch him. He's not Travis J. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he does some of the things that you look for as far as just athletic ability and freak talent. So but I really like Jackson West. I really like his ability to block, the way he opens things up, the separation he gets on receiving. I think he's going to be a really good option for a guy like Mackenzie Milton or whoever's at quarterback. I think he's going to be a fun guy to watch in this offense. Joshua Farmer is very good too. That's a guy that we don't talk enough about. That's had a really good year. I've been very impressed with him. So, but those two guys alone are probably the most underrated because we don't talk about those guys a lot. But those two to me, and Shyheim Brown and Jackson is very good. He was very good as a blocker, Daniel. To answer your question, he did a pretty good job this year. It was something that he really worked on hard because he hasn't done a lot of blocking, but he sealed the edge really pretty well. There's still going to be a growing point as far as blocking on the college level that he'll have to adjust to, that there'll be a learning curve. But as a tight end, I just like what this kid's going to bring to this offense. I think he's a guy that can give you separation on those linebackers, and I think he's a guy that FSU fans are going to love, and he's a pretty darn good baseball player too. So it wouldn't surprise me if he walked on and played baseball as well. So fun guy to watch, and those are kind of my two guys that are kind of underrated.
Oh, look at somebody squeezing here right at the last second before the buzzer. We'll take our last phone call here in a second. But first, shout out to JK64_99. I think his Bulldog's name is Zeus. I think is what he named the Bulldog. I think.
Love that picture.
Look at that Bulldog.
I love the picture.
Appreciate you, JK. You got a little bit of.
Dollar bills, y'all.
25 pounds. We appreciate you, JK. 64_99. Pretty sure he's a member as well over on warchant.com. All right. We'll keep that up on the screen because you deserve that because of your generosity. In the meantime, let's take a phone caller here. Who we got? Where are you calling us from?
This is JR from ATL.
All right. I'm glad. You know, I'm not going to lie, JR. I'm ready to get out. I want to eat something. I'm kind of hungry. We hit the hour mark. My job here is done. I didn't want to take another call. But since it's you, I like you. You're a good caller. You bring it. I appreciate it. Both back in, man. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate that.
Good, man.
How are you doing today?
Good, man. I'm ready for early signing day tomorrow, man. Let's go.
Getting up early tomorrow. I don't usually do it, but I'm getting up early tomorrow.
Yeah, you get up early. You let me know. I'll wake up a little bit later, and I'll get
okay.
Over on this end. What's on your mind, JR?
So, first off, Michael, how you doing? I'm sorry, I'm being rude right now.
That's okay. I'm doing fantastic, JR. That's okay. I get used to being ignored by the wife, so it's okay. But no, I'm doing fantastic. Exciting times, exciting weekend for FSU. I'm ready to get this early signing period and class done. Let's see what they get tomorrow, and then keep the ball rolling. But I'm doing great. But what's on your mind, my man?
All right, so I'll make it quick. What do you think our chances are with Lee Hunter, Amari Harvey? I think his name is Philip O'Brien or O'Brien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With how do you feel with those three? With us being, involved heavily, and with Gus Malzahn being fired a couple days ago.
Yeah, I think Lee Hunter is a guy that's already been a soft commitment, so he would be the number one on my list out of the guys you listed. I think Odell's been on him hard. They haven't slowed down. He was originally going to sign early. That was kind of his plan early on, although that was like 3 weeks ago. So I think he's a guy that you could watch. Now, do I think he'll still sign early? I would guess probably not, but I think that's a guy you got to watch closely for FSU. I think there's a real chance there, a real shot. Philip O'Brien, as I mentioned early in the show, his two uncles are Henry and Zach Crockett. Kid loves FSU. He really likes Norvell. He even teased with FSU fans the other night with a little emoji tweet, FSU with the eyes bowling. So he might just be messing with him, or he might be serious about him. But he's always liked FSU, although he's been a firm commitment to Auburn for a while. He's a guy that is certainly always been high on FSU. So if he did something, it wouldn't shock me if they ended up. So I think there's a shot there. And Amari Harvey's probably the less of the three, because I think he was, if it wasn't going to be Auburn when he originally committed, it was going to be Texas A&M, because those are the two schools that he talked about the most. I think FSU really felt like they were kind of being played by him, where they didn't think he was generally interested. But you never know. You never know with Tally Kids. He could pull a surprise. But if I was putting my money, I would say either Auburn or Texas A&M. If he's pulling us a big surprise, he'll catch everyone if it's FSU. But I would think probably Texas A&M or Auburn. So with those three guys.
Now it's Philip O'Brien.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. I'll let y'all go ahead and get out of there. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Exact speed. Sign up for Warchant. Hit that thumbs up button. And hopefully tomorrow we can get inside the top 25, maybe top 15 by Friday.
There you go.
There you go. Appreciate you, JR. Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right. JR is the last one, but somebody just called. We'll take the phone call. You're the last caller. And then I want Michael to make a prediction on where we're going to see this class rank, although maybe it's too early to tell. I was going to ask you this, Michael. We'll let the caller get in here. Rivals is going to have to reconsider the way they grade classes with the portal now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole new dynamic now because you get a guy like Mackenzie Milton. That's a 5-star. I mean, in my book, that's a 5-star. Mackenzie Milton's a 5-star. You got to readjust what these guys are as far as talent base. So I think we're going to come up with something like transfer portal rankings and stuff. Like re-rank these guys, and then add that to your class. I think that's what we're trending towards. I think eventually you're going to have to do that because the portal is going to be so important to every team around the country now. I mean, we've seen it. There's so much talent coming out of that portal. So I think that's kind of what we're going to trend towards eventually.
All right. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
Ranye, Gwinnett County.
Oh, okay. That's all right. All right. So I feel all right. I like Ranye. Ranye's good people. It's okay. You can call in at the buzzer. How are things in Gwinnett County, Ranye?
ATL.
It's going good. Going to check out that Grayson North game tomorrow.
Oh man.
Sunday night.
Yeah, you have to give us updates on the site, man. Let me know how it's going in that game because I'm really interested in that one.
Yeah, definitely will. Well, a question I have is one for Garcia.
Okay.
If you got Mackenzie, do you think that changes Garcia and really pushes him to Miami? I know he tweeted out probably about 2 hours ago his decision is made to be going on Instagram Live to make that decision. Do you think it's Miami?
I think it's Miami. I think FSU got their quarterback. I think once FSU got their quarterback, they cooled and shut things down to how hard they pushed for Jake. I think they wanted a guy. I think Milton was their number one guy. I've said that on the site several times. That was the one where I really thought that was the place that he wanted to be as far as the guy they wanted, which was Milton. I think I think with Jake, I think they pushed hard, but I think they recruited them both hard. But I think Milton was the priority. And once they got Milton and then they got him signed Monday, I think their quarterback recruiting was done for this year.
Okay. And with Byron Young and Jadarius Perkins, what chances do you think we land them down?
Yeah, good question. Byron Young is another guy that was an FSU Auburn battle. So I think FSU is very much in the thick of things. FSU is a team to watch. I think he's probably most JUCO guys signed late December, like December 20, around Christmas. So I think FSU is certainly a school to watch now that Auburn does not have somebody. Obviously, if they, depending on who they hire, that can impact things one way or the other, good or bad. But I think FSU is very much in there. I think they're in their top two. That's a guy they can pull. The Jadarius Perkins kid, I just wonder about the timing of that one just because they offered so late. Even though Norvell and the staff did a really good job of developing a relationship, they recruited the kid for like 2 months. I think he's a guy to watch for a surprise, but if I was picking, I would go with Mississippi State right now. That would be my pick. But FSU, don't count out FSU because they have really developed a strong relationship, did an virtual in-home at Aslan with him the other night with Coach Norvell. So would I be stunned if he picked FSU? No, I wouldn't because of the relationship they already developed. Obviously, Mississippi State's been on him the longest, so if I had to go with that, if I was hold a gun to my head making a pick, I would pick Mississippi State. But I said I would not discount FSU completely because of that relationship.
There you go. Your questions answered right here live, Ranye.
Well, I definitely appreciate it, and hopefully we can flip McLean. I heard that Ole Miss visit didn't go as expected, so hopefully tomorrow bring him back.
Hey, Ranye, I'm checking on that. I got like 4 different calls I'm waiting back on that for, so I'm checking on McLean to see how that's going to go.
All right. Well, thank y'all.
You got it.
Oh my gosh! All right, this is the last one. Good gosh. We started at 5. What's everybody calling in late for? I'm only taking this because it's Pitmaster Chris, and Chris is going to do like a luau themed cookout for all of our Wake Up Warchant listeners for the spring game. He's in Perry, Georgia. Chris, what's on your mind, man?
Well, first off, you got to get with me. We got to work out something with that.
There you go.
Barbecue. But my thing right now is question for you guys is, do you think, especially for you, Mr. Langston, I got a question about how you think we should readjust the way we rank a recruitment class based on filling the positions of need, not necessarily just getting the best guys in. Because Florida State does have some talent, but we need to win the trenches, and we're doing that with our recruiting right now. We're getting our D-line, offensive line. You know, if a team fills in their weaknesses, well, that to me is a better recruiting class than just going after 5-star receivers.
Yeah, that's more of Chris. That's more of a thing that we can do on Warchant. I don't think somebody else from the outside, like Rivals, is going to really know what FSU really needs. I do agree with your point. I do think you need to re-rank these and kind of talk about what kind of class it is if you met your needs. That's why when I did the preview today, I wanted to kind of touch on the things that I think they did well with, you know, we saw that with pass rushers, and obviously they knocked it out of the park with the quarterback. But there's certain positions there's still work to do. But I think that's something we can do. You know, me, Gene, Ira, whoever, we can really, you know, look at kind of rank what it means and what this class is as far as fulfilling needs. I think that's something that would be more beneficial and come from it for FSU fans if we did it, because we know the program. Rivals doesn't know, you know, stuff that goes on inside the program or what FSU's major need was and stuff like that. So I think that's more something we can do as a company, and I think that's something that, you know, it's a good idea that we certainly need to do. Kind of, and the other thing, I kind of touched on this earlier, I think you're going to have to start re-ranking these classes based on what you get from the transfer market and re-rank how these guys, you know, the guys that you get. It's like Mackenzie Milton coming in here. To me, that's a 5-star quarterback. That's a 5-star talent. You're getting a 5-star type of kid. So you have to re-rank these things, I think, with the transfer portal. So I think that's kind of a place that's probably trending in that direction. But that's kind of how I feel about it, Chris.
You know, you kind of think about it as a way to bolster your recruiting later, is if you have the offensive and defensive line, keep your skill players from getting hit in the face by 300-pound guys, well, they're going to want to come play for you. And you can win games in the trenches without having exceptional skill. So I think it's pretty smart what they're doing right now is targeting these offensive, defensive linemen over everything else. And that's, I don't know, I think that's kind of something everybody needs to get their head out of the ditch for, because, you know, this is good stuff. These are good defensive linemen we're looking at and possibly getting.
Yeah, and I like what they've done, Chris, where they knew they need pass rushers, and they went out there and got a Patrick Payton. Okay, they look good for a guy like George Wilson. You already have Joshua Foreman. They addressed, like, look, we need improvement as pass rushers, so they realized that. And then getting guys in the trenches like Rod Orr and Brian Esses and these other guys that they have, Kimo Macanole. I mean, even though you're in a fight with him, but still, they're addressing needs of what they need. They're looking at their team like, we're weak at this point. And I think Norvell's done a really good job of player evaluations, but also understanding the weak points of what his team is right now. So I've been pretty impressed so far.
Yep, I have too. Anyway, that's all I had. Just something positive, saying I think we're doing better than everybody.
There you go.
Doing outside of the FSU program. But all right, but anyway, Aslan, if you want to hit me up, seriously, I'll come down and cook for you guys.
Yes.
We'll be in touch, man. You're a pit master, man. They're hard to come by these days.
I'll bring the whole cook team down and we'll throw down for you.
All right, man. Sounds good, man. Appreciate the call, Chris.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too, man. All right. That's a wrap on the phone calls. Shout out to B. Riley. Hitting the tip jar is admirable, but perhaps the money would look better inside a bag. You know, carried by a man. I feel you. Appreciate that. There was somebody who's asking about the running back from Louisiana, Daniel Williams. Did we hear anything about Hargrove, Contravion Hargrove? What's up with that?
Contravion Hargrove is supposed to sign in the late period, but there's been surprises before. His season ended last weekend. So he technically, if he wanted to sign, he could certainly do it. Nothing's holding him back. So he's a guy I'm monitoring as well. I think he's a guy that, you know, wouldn't shock me if he just said, you know what, screw this. I know where I'm going. I think FSU is very high on this list. I personally think they're in the best position early right now, but I've been very impressed with him.
All right. And then last one out the way, because I know he's a subscriber, Ryan 1.
Yeah.
Mike, you hinted that Hunter was referring to Dink in an interview, and that has been refuted by several posters that are usually pretty good.
He said, here's the thing on that. He said D Jackson. And then I haven't heard anything about FSU pushing for Darryl Jackson. So then if it's not Darryl Jackson, then my assumption is it had to be Dink. And I know that he's been working on Dink. I said this to people on the boards. Dink is pretty solid to Ole Miss, so I still think he's going to sign with Ole Miss. So I don't know for sure which D Jackson he's referring to. And I've said that on the boards. So just want to clarify that. But I don't think Dink's a guy they're going to pull unless he pulls a major surprise. But he is a guy that just because the recruit's working on him doesn't mean that, things are trending or turning another way. It just means they're listening to him. Recruits listen to people all the time. So I think, so right now I don't think they're getting either D Jackson, so it doesn't matter right now. So, but that's kind of my explanation on the D Jackson thing. Sally from Australia.
Yeah, Australia, down under, eh? All right. Right on. Khalil keeps asking. I mean, I don't know, Khalil. Michael, do you know the Georgia linebacker that's in the portal?
Yes, people mentioned him early today. His name slips me. He will be a guy that I think they'll have interest in. So, yes, he's a guy I think there will be some interest by FSU on him, Khalil. Khalil, you get the record for asking questions. We asked you to ask questions, and you fired through, man. Awesome chat. You guys did great. Give me about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to hop on over to the PRB. I'm going to answer some of your questions over there. Let's get ready for signing day. It's going to be a big day, hopefully tomorrow, a lot of signings, and we'll see what happens with the uncommitted guys. But appreciate Aslan, did a fantastic job. All the callers, all the tips. We are absolutely floored. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah. JK64_99, Sean Norris, Andy Neves, Gator Kirk, Khalil Young, Rare Artworks, Willie Johnson. I mean, shoot, when we say your name, you have to just drop that, as well as Ray Pereira, Hector Cartagena, Trent Barnes, Shane Kirkley, Kirknell. Kirknell's got to get some of this when we say his name too, man. Bang! Let's go. And Scott Chastain, who started us all off. We appreciate everybody else that was watching and calling in. I'm Aslan. He's Michael. Head over to the PRB, warchant.com, promo code below. This is the time to start off for 30 days. Get all your knowledge when it comes to recruiting. We'll do this all again a few times tomorrow. Be on the lookout. We'll announce the times over on the website. For Michael, I'm Aslan. Thanks for watching. Have a great one, everybody.